Welcome to WEHM All Access, the podcast where we bring you in-depth conversations with the people shaping life right here on Eastern Long Island. Now, every episode, we're going to dive into the stories, the music, and the voices that define our community, from local leaders to the musicians you know and love. And throughout the summer, we're catching up with many of the performers taking the stage at the Great South Bay Music Festival, getting the inside scoop on their music, their journey, and what they're bringing to Patchogue this year. Well, on this episode of EHM All Access, we're diving into the world of the Space Turtles. That's right, they're a Long Island band blending punk energy, some big riffs, and just a lot of personality. Nick and Adam join us to talk about their origin story, their writing process, and their wild live shows they've been having that have earned them quite a fast-growing fan base. They're hitting the Jambalaya Stage at Great South Bay Music Festival this year. We've got the full story with the Space Turtles on EHM All Access. It is EHM All Access, the Great South Bay Music Festival, using this opportunity to sit down with a whole bunch of bands at this year's festival, Shorefront Park in Patchogue. It's July 23rd through the 26th, and one of the bands that's performing on that Sunday, the 26th, first of all, I love their name when I first saw it. They're performing at the Jambalaya Stage. The Space Turtles, and welcome to the virtual studio, Nick and Adam for the band. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good, buddy. How are you?
Thank you for doing this. We appreciate it. It's a good chance to kind of sit down and get to know a lot of the bands that are performing at this year's festival. And I guess I'll start with how long have you guys been a band? And first, I love the name. Where did it come from? What's the origin story?
Okay, so we've been together for about 5 years, and honestly, the name came from like a baking show that I was watching during COVID. There's a woman who made a cake that looked like outer space, and then inside of it were space turtles, and I was like, that's a band name, and we all liked it.
We were walking around like the development that I live in, and it just came up, and I didn't know that was what he was thinking about before that. And I was like, dude, we both like, who doesn't like turtles and outer space? And our music has changed a little since then, but that's how I thought it started. And then later I found out that's not really how it started. But we like it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, it is cool. And I like the fact that you guys are working. I guess you said 5 years you've been as a band. Did you guys start in COVID? Is it kind of when this project began?
Pretty much, yeah. We were jamming as a cover band, like almost acoustically, and then I was like, Nick, you got to come to my house where I have a full drum set, and then it just took off after that, and we stopped doing the covers almost.
Yeah, we pretty much went right into, once we started writing original music, that was it. I mean, we do covers, but when we play covers, they're mashups now. They're not your typical cover, yeah.
No.
Is that, from a band perspective, because that is a change to make that conscious decision to say, hey, we're not going to do this anymore. Is that tough? And do you guys already have kind of a pool of songs you've been working on that haven't been shown yet or seen the light of day? How does it work to make that decision to do original songs?
Yeah, well, I think COVID kind of gave us that opportunity to experiment because there weren't any gigs really happening. Everything was online. Everyone was trapped at home, just waiting to get out. So it was our opportunity to kind of, I guess, look within and decide, hey, you know what, this is really worth it. I think also just the way that everyone was thinking, like the world is just so hectic. I think that just kind of put us in the mode of like, why wait to do this? Let's do this now. We love doing this. So that's, I think, the reason why what drove us. And we just love doing it. We're constantly writing songs. We're writing songs now. We're constantly arranging them and working on things together. So we're a very creative bunch that just loves doing it. And we love the people in the community.
You're in the, you go. Sorry.
As far as like, the process itself, I mean, I guess it kind of goes like if you've ever been in a band or done something kind of like probably even like this radio show, right? We'll sit on something, we'll work on it, and then when it's like ready, it'll be aired. But we're not like 10 songs away from releasing like one. Like we have a couple that are on the way, and we've been playing them at shows, but they're not recording ready yet. Yeah, but like that's kind of like the process. We got to get a little batch going. We see how they do, and then we're like, all right, now it's time to record these and see, how to take them even further.
You're in that Long Island punk scene. What kind of part of that scene and those bands that have kind of shaped your sound that you kind of grew up watching and going to shows and have influenced where you sit in that kind of space right now?
You know what's so funny is like we didn't consider ourselves punk at all. Like we were just like playing in what we thought was just like a rock, like a eclectic rock scene. And when we started releasing music, people are like, "You're punk." And every
I was
time he
surprised.
released it, yeah, we were still like, are we really punk music? But yeah, that's just kind of like what we were lumped in without deciding that.
What did you guys
I
grow
didn't
up
grow up
listening
on punk
to?
at all. Like, I did not grow up on punk. I grew up on like Zeppelin, classic rock. I don't know, like stuff that I would never. Like, I don't consider Tool and the Mars Volta, like maybe the Mars Volta, but that's it. Like, I mean, Rage, Audio Slave is not punk, you know. Like,
That's interesting.
I listened to a lot of grunge growing up, like a lot of it from
Right.
the 90s and a lot of the alt rock stuff from the 90s. So, and there was like, you know, of course, you had a lot of pop punk from the 2000s and stuff that I listened to. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense with the culmination of all our influences that we pop these kind of songs out like this.
Walk me through the song, because I love the fact that you guys talked about it. You're always writing songs, you're always doing things and kind of putting things together. Walk me through kind of how a song begins and how long does it take for the average song to kind of become something that you want to play on the stage?
like a finished product, or just okay.
Yeah.
So it's a couple of different ways. Oftentimes, Nick, he's a great songwriter. He will just come to us with like something that he's like 90% done with, and then we will finish it like collectively, like because he doesn't know what the final drum or bass part is going to be. Or sometimes he has an idea, and then we run with that.
Yeah.
But I'm better at drums than Nick is, and Andrew is better at the bass than me and Nick are. So it kind of evolves from there when we put our own little like sprinkles on it.
I think the beautiful part is it's synergy, right?
Yeah,
it's like the
unison,
synergy of it. Like sometimes we're all inspired by some subject, and I'll write a melody and lyrics and block chords, and then we'll be like, okay, what do we do to make this song come alive? And I think we kind of do that more and more generally.
Yeah. And we'll sit on it for like a couple of weeks too, because then we'll be like, now that we're familiar with it, can we make the bridge better?
Yeah.
Is the verse a little too long? Is it dragging? Are people losing interest at the show? Like, we'll kind of do that, but it probably takes about 4 rehearsals at maybe the most to really mold it into what it's probably mostly going to be.
Yeah. I think the most interesting development as far as the writing goes is that creating content for it, the visual artwork for it, and just the social element live when we perform it, that's become a big part of our thought process as we're writing and creating the arrangement too. But it's definitely synergy 100%, because Andrew is a fantastic bass player. He actually went to school for classical guitar. So he's always turning around and he's like, hey, try doing these chords, Nick, because that's boring. And so, and then we kind of we tie it all together. And Adam has these great ideas for keeping the feel and the beat of it. We would just work really well.
That's like the general mold. Like I wouldn't say every time, because we wrote the system based on, that was like, I took a Rush idea. They have this song called Driven, and I took the time signature arrangement and I showed Nick beats based on that. And then that song started out as drums.
Yeah.
And then we went from there. But generally Nick has this great idea and we just build it. Even sometimes we jam. And then, we just get an idea going in the moment. And then if we like where that's going, then that can be a song too.
Yeah.
You had said that the band kind of changed a little bit sonically in the beginning. I think I heard you guys talk about. Is there a certain song in your catalog that kind of changed the direction for the band creatively, or that you can kind of point to?
Actually, I was going to say maybe Let It Go is where we've really started.
Yeah, I think we really found what our sound when we released our last EP. And the song Let It Go that we released, I think that...
We still play it.
We still play it live. A lot of people still really like that song a lot. And I think that was the song where we were like, okay, we like this energy. We like this vibe. We like what's happening in front of us when we play it live. Let's try to find more energy like this in our songs. And I think that influenced us in so many ways.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the tempo, for sure, right? Because you can have a cool song at like 90 or 100, but for whatever reason... I mean, obviously, well, not obviously, but most people, if you don't know, like the radio generally plays songs like 120-ish. That's like normal. We've noticed that people are rocking at 140, 150, though. That seems to be, it's not too fast, but it's not 200 or 180, where it's like, okay, like the core note feels good and there's energy, but there's not way too much energy. So that's a big part of it too, is tempo, at least based on what we're seeing at shows, like the fan reaction.
We want people to have a good time at our shows, even if they don't know our music. We want people to be able to dance and move around and hang out with their friends and have a good time and feel like they're part of it too.
And they do.
Yeah,
we see it.
So.
We're seeing it.
Yeah, I think we see that. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And you talked about it's not just the music now; it's kind of the visual and trying to figure out how to promote it on social, the different videos that you put together. What's that been like to kind of craft the live show? You mentioned that there's a lot of things that go into it. Do you have a plan, like as far as the Great South Bay Music Festival performance coming up? How do you kind of craft that show? And I'm sure you have a plan for the set list and kind of the visuals as well.
I think all of it is a constant development. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring our best for Great South Bay, and we're going to be trying to get people dancing and moving and singing as much as possible. And we want to put on a lot of energy and a great show for people. So to be honest with you, like, it's a culmination of everything that we're doing. And every show that we do, like we just played, last show we played was at a tattoo parlor, and we brought our all there too. And we had everyone dancing in the tattoo parlor, and we had like a small mosh pit in there. So, I mean, honestly, every single show we're bringing our best, and we're trying to give as much as we can to the audience.
There's that, and I just want to jump on that too. Very much like, I guess to some degree, like acting, right? It's the entertainment industry. It's not just how well can you say this line, like that's not what makes, I don't know, John Hamm. It's how well can you get into character. And we do that live too, because we're not just sitting there like this playing, and I'm not like some rigid dude. As far as I go, like I take my shirt off and I have a random hat that I wear, and that's the visual is cool, but it's entertaining because I'm not someone that is all show and then cannot actually back it up. Like I'm playing my parts well. I'm practicing all the time still just because. I'm not going to be like, yeah, I'm good. Like, no, I don't settle. So you get the visual part too, which you mentioned, but it's like, it's not just moving around, which we've also done more of. We're definitely less rigid than when we started by a lot. But now it's also like what you're seeing as far as how we're dressing and the movements and all that stuff. And if we got a mosh pit going for a song that we never thought we'd get a mosh pit going. So like, it's been fun, it's a lot. It's not just the music only.
Yeah. What did you guys do before this band? Were you, I'd imagine, in other bands as well before this project came together?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also I was songwriting for other people too.
Oh wow! Because I'm curious, because
we're also both music teachers too. We're both, so we're like all we do is music day in and day out. We teach it and then we perform it.
Can I ask where you guys teach?
We teach privately through our own studio.
Oh, very nice.
I do that. I teach at some stores too, but I'm mostly private as well, 100%. Yeah. And it's really funny. Me and Nick went to the same high school, and we didn't really, like, we had coexisted. We didn't really know a lot about the other person until we met at a music store. And then we became like much better friends like after that. We've actually known each other for like 20 years.
We connected through music, for sure. All of us did. We all connected through music.
How did it, because it sounds like, I'm curious, were you guys performing live before this band happened? You had that experience already. Before you got together for this particular project, excuse me. What was it like creating what's the difference now from when you first started to, you mentioned changing the look. What's the most noticeable thing that you guys have changed over the past couple of years for your live performance?
Just trying to get it better.
Yeah.
I don't think we've really changed so much. Yeah, like when we started, I'm sure in high school, we're smarter now. That's really the basic thing. Like when you're in your teens, even if you're smart, you really don't know anything. So, we have a different eye as far as writing, and we know more about the business behind the business, and all that goes into putting on a good show too. Like, I don't know, with everything you can think of, like when I was 15 or whatever, 16, I didn't really care about the crowd too much. I just wanted there to be one. But I wasn't thinking about making sure they're moving, or if, how well my parts fit. Yeah, it's in 4/4 and you're in 4/4 and our one's line up, it's fine. Now it's like we need to make sure every part is gelling to go for.
I think after the excitement of just like playing for people subsides and you start actually looking out there and seeing how people are reacting and responding to what you're doing, I think that that's become like our focus, just kind of like seeing what happens as we're having a good time on stage, seeing if people are like, yeah, let's do that too, or if they're like, look at the time, I gotta get out of here, you know. So some songs definitely just naturally vibe. Some songs just always make people move in the room, and we are trying to hone in more and more on songs that do that.
Yeah, like if you take someone that has never heard Tool to a Tool concert, they're just gonna be like, like they're just gonna be like, oh, look at the time, or they're gonna be maybe tapping their foot until it changes. And they're like, well, now I don't know this meter, or I'm lost. So we don't want that anymore, or we don't really want anything like that at all. Maybe once in a while we'll throw in some crazy odd meters on like a one-off on an album that we're probably not going to play live because we don't want to kill the audience in the vibe that we have. But generally, we're doing stuff that we're thinking more about the crowd. We're definitely doing what we want to do, but we're factoring in their consideration like too.
Yeah, connecting with people, you know, just connecting with them on a real human-to-human way.
Tell me about this latest EP that you guys put. I think it was back in, I think it was March or early spring. That's out there now. I know it's on all the platforms for the Space Turtles. And I'm wondering, you mentioned there's also a music video for it too. How is this? It sounds like this EP is kind of, I don't want to say a fresh start for you guys, but it sounds like a lot, you're kind of working towards this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, we put a lot of effort into that EP. It was about over a year of like writing and recording, and we wrote a ton of songs. We chucked a ton of songs, and these were our favorites. These are the ones that we saw responded well live. And then after that, out of those songs, I think it's 6 of them, we said, okay, Minesweeper is the one that everybody is like, I love that song. I love that song. So we did a music video on like a very crazy, hectic, snowy day. And that, I think that was one of the reasons probably why we got into Great South Bay, aside from, you know, the people that Adam know. But I think just this development and people in the scene kind of just recognizing us more and us being more serious about it. It's just culminating.
And they'll tell you, like, if you've played a show and you do a good job, like, your friends will probably tell you they did a good job, because even if you didn't, they're not going to tell you that. Right. But people that don't know you, they just come up to you out of the blue and like, dude, that song is a banger. Like, that's, no one asked for that. So you can't say like we're fishing for compliments. Like, you didn't have to even come over here. So we took stuff like that into consideration. And Minesweeper itself, it started out as like a Moby Dick type riff. And then we're like, this is too good to just have like, we're going to play it for a minute, and then we're going to give our drummer a solo for X amount of time. We'll organize that. We're like, no, we're going to, this is awesome by itself. Let's take this somewhere. And that's kind of how that song started. Yeah. It was almost a joke even.
Yeah, like sometimes even songs start as a joke, and we get like a little snippet of something, and we're like, yeah, let's go, let's do more of this.
Yeah, it sounds like you want to shoot more music videos too. It sounds like you had a lot of fun doing that.
Absolutely. Yes. You know, like I think at first, like we're all kind of more like old school. We just went like, at first we want to just release music and be done with it kind of thing. But now as we dive more into visual things like music videos and content and stuff like that, especially because we get along together, it's a lot of fun. We had an absolute blast making the music video. So whoever's listening, check out the Space Turtles Minesweeper on YouTube. It's a freaking blast. We had a great time doing it. And we're getting good reactions from people. So, yeah.
It's the guy shooting it, Ange, he said that it was like, it was the most fun he'd had. At least doing a video. He's like, dude, you guys are fine, your goofballs.
We like to have fun. Yeah, we like to have fun. That's for sure.
How do you, it's been the kind of the core 3 of you guys for most of this project, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we did have another member in the very beginning. Bill. He was a fantastic synthesizer keyboard player,
also a music teacher.
But unfortunately, Bill had to move, and then that's when Space Turtles had to find a different voice, and that's when we started, really messing with the sound a lot.
Yeah, we had to cover. Well, Bill played keyboards, so he was a big part of us literally going to space, and we had to figure out how to cover that voice.
I love that phrase. Yes, it's interesting.
Well, if you listen to Unplugged, some of our stuff is really very spacey. Yeah. Like it's more punk rock now, but it was very. It's mostly 4/4, but it was definitely out there. right back then, but we had to cover that element. So that was when he left, because Indiana's not exactly close. We kind of had to, like Nick said, we had to like evolve and figure out how to go without that.
As music teachers, what do you kind of tell the younger musician that's looking to kind of get into a band? So do you have any advice for them? Because you guys have seen it. And it's also an interesting time because it's, as you mentioned, it's not just about the music anymore. It's about the branding. It's about marketing. It's about the social media content. What would you say to your students that are looking to do this?
Oh man, do it. Get into a band. Pick up a guitar, pick up drums. Just start doing it.
Apply it. Yeah.
We have a lot of kids. We have a lot of students that are doing this, and this is the craziest thing. Like, funny enough, about a month ago, we played a smaller festival in Port Jeff called Off the Rails. It's put together by some students from like the Port Jeff Setauket area, and we were playing with kids from high school and college, and they were just having the time of their lives. It's nice to see young kids wanting to write music and just be out there and bring their friends together and have a good time.
Appreciate the classics too.
They appreciate the classics.
Did like Hot for Teacher. Like, it did a pretty decent job.
And there's also a lot of just like young and upcoming bands that are just like fresh, and they have a lot of inspiration from the past. So it's really cool to see that.
Well, thank you for what you're doing with the youth, so to speak, and teaching. That's very cool to see. And I love what you're doing with this project. The Space Turtles on the stage Sunday, kicking off the Jambalaya Stage on Sunday, July 26th, Shorefront Park in Patchogue. And we will see you there. Thank you for sitting down. I really appreciate getting to know you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.